Welcome to day 31 of the Daily Doodle December Challenge, the last day of our doodling together for the month. Before we begin, let's start by taking 3 big grounding breaths together, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth with a big sigh. And again, inhaling, exhaling, releasing any tension in the body with the breath out, and then inhaling and exhaling, releasing any busy thoughts or worries, setting them aside for this time that we're together doodling. So for today's doodle, we're going to do a series of leaf shapes, divide them in half, and then do this sort of do close together angled line pattern that kind of makes a pattern like a herringbone floor. And then we're going to come back in and without any particular positioning or pattern in the placement of the leaves, we'll just add them in wherever there's sort of a dip. I hope you've had a wonderful December with at least some time for relaxation. If you've been following along with the doodling, presumably you've had that little bit of relaxation each day or each binge watch of the videos that you did. You had a little break. You'll notice that I'm doing all different sizes. It tends to be a little more, I was going to say fun, but I guess just easier to see the pattern, the herringbone pattern, if the leaf is a bit on the wider side. But as you can see, some of mine, just because of the space available, end up quite small or quite narrow. So this works for many different shapes and sizes of leaf. I'm back at home now. If you watched the previous 2 days' videos, you would know that I had been away in a hotel and had to change my video format. But everything should be back to normal today, since I'm home with access to my usual Wi-Fi for video editing. So this will be a full demo video where you can watch each step as I create the doodle. Today I'm using a 1.0 thickness pen. That just happened to be what I grabbed. I can see that it might have been easier to do some of this fine detail if I had grabbed a somewhat finer tip, but this still works. and gives more of a bold look to the design. So that is it for the doodling part. If you are not adding color and you're just sticking with the black pen, you might now come and color in the background in black. But I'm going to come in with a dark purple pencil crayon. And I'm going to get myself some extra paper to put underneath here. There we go. Make the surface underneath a bit smoother for my coloring. So for today, the color scheme I'm going to be using is purples and pinks. Certainly unconventional for leaf pattern, but let's see how it turns out. Because I've already done the more traditional green on my green and gold sample that I will show you shortly. And I'm using a pretty basic coloring technique, much like a child would do, just attempting to create a uniform dark purple color in the background. Pressing fairly hard, so I'm not trying to do any shading or anything here. And in addition to the pink and purple pencil crayons I'll be using, I'm going to use silver gel pens today. The opaque and the sheer ones, well, one of each. I'm filming this earlier in the day than usual, and I'm feeling a bit like my brain isn't maybe fully ramped up yet. Struggling to find my words sometimes here. So now I'm coming back in with lighter shades, like compared to the background. This one, because it's actually not that much lighter than the background, I'm using a really light touch with it to try to keep the color pale and have some contrast with the background. I've chosen 3 colors for the leaves. So I'm overthinking. Do you see me hesitating there? All right. I can always come back to that shade if I want more of it. Now I'm into one of my pinks. Using kind of a medium-ish pressure here. All right. Well, let me switch to my other one, and then I'll come back and fill in if I need to with repeats of what I've already done. So this one is a fairly deep, almost hot pink, or I don't know, maybe a light burgundy. So I'm using a light touch with it, again, to have some contrast with the dark purple background. Just do the rest with this. All right, so there you have the coloring done. And it's fairly uniform in color, like in intensity. Like if you were to squint your eyes, there's not a lot of variation. So I'm going to come in with my opaque silver and kind of deciding what I'm doing. Well, I'm going to, at least on some of them, go over the black, or not even worrying if it goes over the black exactly, just redrawing the outside and then the herringbone. And it may in some cases go on top of the black, and in some cases go in between the black. My plan at the moment is to not do all of them and to only do random ones, but we'll see how that looks. I may end up doing them all. It's all an experiment. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do them all. It's less thinking. It helps them pop. And then it's some extra time spent doing these relaxing doodles. As it turns out, I'm probably not going to use the sheer silver because I had been planning to come back in and do some of these with the sheer silver. But now they'll all be done with the extra doodling in silver. So there you have it. The day 31 doodle done. Now it's time to color the tracking star, the last one. Well, if I thought it was satisfying to color tracking stars each day, I'm finding it is extremely satisfying to fill the whole page. Now I'll show you the green sample. Green and gold, so the more conventional. So you can see on this one, I actually did not go in and re-outline with the opaque silver. I actually just went in, it might be hard to see in the light, but I went in and basically went over the herringbone with the sheer silver. So it just added a bit of sparkle to every leaf and left the black more prominent. And then on this one, this is my blue and silver sample. And so this was a combo. Some of them I went back in with the opaque silver. Some of them I went back in with the sheer silver. And I added silver dots on the background here. And actually over on the green, I realized I added gold dots there. I didn't do that on the demo today, but I like the demo the way it is. So that is it for the Daily Doodle December Challenge. I am delighted and honored if you joined me for any of the days, and hope that you'll continue doodling as often as you can in little bursts throughout your week to infuse some calm and creativity into your days.